What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Fever 89-78 winners over the Seattle Storm. Caitlin Clark busts another double-double after she was given her two assists that somehow got missed and it was fixed. So instead of a 32-8 against the Washington Mystics, it's now a 32-10, becoming the first player ever to record multiple 30-point 10 assist games. And here we are right now, another double-double, 21 and 10. It could have been a triple-double, but someone had a say in that one, and we're going to talk about that right here on this edition of Indiana Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Hit the intro. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back and once again to another edition of Indiana Fever Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Show hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave the comments. Appreciate y'all. Hype the video, hype as we grow this channel, man. We're getting closer and closer to 16,000 subscribers. Greatly appreciate y'all. Man, it was a expected result. I figured the Fever would win by 20. The one thing I'm hearing a little bit too much of is this point shaving stuff. Be very careful when you accuse people of point shaving. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear anything about point shaving, that the spread was 11 and a half and they won by 11. No, the spread was actually 10 and a half. It was 11 and a half to start the game. The initial number was 11 and a half. It dropped to 10 and a half. I'm not comfortable when I hear nonsense on comments about point shaving. There's no point shaving going on. So be very careful when you accuse people of committing criminal activity publicly. I would never recommend doing that. But hey, y'all can do what y'all want, or folks can do what they want. But I would never be one to do that. I would never even insinuate something like that. Now, what I would insinuate is that someone doesn't want someone to have a triple double. I got no problem insinuating that. I got no problem letting you know that the fact that Stephanie White pulled Caitlin Clark out with 8 minutes to go in the game in a 16-point game, which means the game is really not over yet. I would probably wait till about the 5-minute mark before I pull her out of the game. She only played 24 minutes today, had 21 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 50% shooting from the floor, 50% shooting from three. She had 17 and 3 at halftime. Caitlin Clark was humming today. Ball's back in her hands since we don't have the hub in the middle of the court getting in the way. Maybe when the hub stopped being the hub, now you have someone that can actually play her game her way. And that's what we got tonight with Caitlin Clark, as she dominated again. They got the W. I expected it. I figured they'd win by 20. They had the last 8 minutes were ugly, especially the last 5. The last 5 minutes were trash. I'm not a big fan of just emptying your bench just because. And hearing the stuff out of Stephanie White's mouth after the game, as usual, typical nonsense, annoying, irritating, garbage. Just not enjoyable to listen to. Realistically, she's just exhausting to listen to be honest. You know, at the end of the game, she says in post-game press conference, she can't give Caitlin Clark any credit whatsoever for anything. It is ungodly odd to have someone be a head coach and never be able to give the player any type of credit. I mean, there was a question once again where she's asked about Caitlin Clark, and what does she say about Caitlin Clark? She says, "Oh, What do you notice about her? Oh, she got a burst back. Okay. Yeah, I think we all noticed that she got a burst back. Let's bring up that video real quick. Let's bring that up right now just for y'all.
Steph, this was kind of the most complete game that we've seen from Caitlin probably in the 10 months, and her return only needed a couple threes, only 5 shots, led in every one of those categories. What to you seems like the most back or the furthest along maybe in her time back?
I think her burst. I think her burst. I think you can see it not just in taking off with the ball in her hands, but you can see it in the lift in her shot. You can see she looks strong. She looks like loaded in her actions. I think you can tell it by the way she's getting to the free throw line too. So I just think her movement patterns and her burst are back.
Wow. Wow. That's what she had to say about her star. Another one where her burst is back, her movement's back. Oh, okay. All right, I got you. So you didn't think there was an ability like it's just weird. She doesn't even feel the need to interject and add. Like, yeah, Caitlin played great today. Caitlin, fourth quarter last game, fantastic. She looks. I mean, between the fourth quarter of last game and this game, she looks great. I mean, she had 32 and 10 last game. That fourth quarter and overtime, she looked great. This game, she had 17 at halftime, jumped all over them. Again, these are things that you would think that a coach would want to say about their best player. A player that self-admittedly had some doubt in her game, last game. Admittedly says she was feeling doubt and hesitancy to shoot the basketball. I mean, that's what she does, right? Caitlin Clark had some big shots today. She hit a big three, a big deep three. She had two threes today. Was 2 of 4 from three, and hit a corner three, and then hit another one, from a half a mile away. You know, but yeah, let's take a look at those. Let's take a look at those shots real quick if we can find them real fast. Here is some more from Caitlin's game today. I'm not making it big because I'm dealing with some issues right now on another video, and I don't want to have any issues. So I'm just going to play it with the small clip here. You can see just this is early in the game. Caitlin Clark finding an assist for Kelsey Mitchell, an easy bucket. I believe that's Kelsey. No, that's Billings. I'm sorry, that's Billings actually. That's Billings. Easy bucket right there on a nice pass. Here you got Caitlin Clark again doing her work. That's the pull up three right there from half a mile away. Drills that three, gives them a 15-point lead in the first quarter. She's just humming along, just humming along. This was her 12th career 2010 game. I mean, she does it like nobody else, man. And then you got another one right here. Just sweet, man. And one's flexing after that bad boy. Caitlin Clark did her thing today again, once again. I mean, that's just power basketball, right into Jade Melbourne's face. So, I mean, again, 21 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, and gets pulled from the game with 8 minutes to go. I'm not really gonna sit here and I'm not begging or hunting for 3 more rebounds. I'm not doing that because I think you give it a 5-minute mark. You're up 16, you give it a 5-minute mark, and if at the 5-minute mark you don't have, then you pull her. I got no problem with that. But to pull her that early where other people are still playing, and realistically, you still got to rotate. You get people used to each other because you are in game 4 still. I mean, you're still in game 4. Let's see if there's anything else up on here. Again, 89-78 winners of today's game. Is there anything here? Michaela Timpson hits her 100th career point. Congratulations to Michaela Timpson on that one. But this is the type of stuff that just gets so annoying, man. You know what I mean? It's just annoying. It's annoying. But what do you expect from this lady at this point? I don't even know if there's anything to expect other than for her to do that nonsense. Today, Sophie Cunningham came off the bench. I'm sure Stephanie White will give herself all kinds of credit for the brilliant move that was, where she also said that she needed scoring punch off the bench, basically because Lexi Hull can't score. I mean, that's the inference, because Lexi Hull was coming off the bench, and then we needed scoring punch off the bench. Okay, so that means that Lexi Hull can't score. I got you, understood. Sophie came off the bench today. She had 17 points. Played one of her better. She's played off, on, and this was the on. Hopefully, the next game won't be another off again. Caitlin led all scores with 21. Kelsey Mitchell, 18 shots, 17 points, completely inefficient. It is what it is. She finally did something. She finally got a couple of assists, but she still didn't grab a rebound. Three straight games. She played 28 minutes, 3 straight games with 0 rebounds. Explain that shit. Like that doesn't even make sense at this point. It doesn't even make sense. But overall, I mean, it was an uneven performance as usual. They came out firing in the first quarter, kind of fell off in the second quarter, came back in the third, which was usually they do poorly in the second and third, and then come back in the fourth. But being that they had the lead, I get and Seattle's just really really bad. Seattle's bad. Seattle's a bad team, and they get they win that quarter 22-14. They're up 13 to 19 going into the fourth quarter, and Caitlin comes up with a 16-point lead, and they proceed to get it down to 11. Last 5 minutes again were bad. Michaela Timpson gets hit with a major shoulder block. I mean, I hope she's not concussed because, yeah, that her head got cracked with under a minute to go, and I'd be surprised if she's playing on Wednesday. And now when you consider the fact that Aaliyah Boston's out, Aaliyah Boston I knew would be out today. I think she's still going to continue to be out. It's going to be a minute. Their game time decision and day-to-day stuff with players is all lies. We all know that by now. And Aaliyah Boston not playing today, I think, is what allowed Caitlin Clark to be special again. Realistically, it's what allowed her to be special. Now, defensively, they got a lot of work to do still. They foul way too much. They're too handsy. They don't move their feet. They don't get back. Seattle was terrible. Seattle shot 35% and 26% from three, and realistically just missed a lot of open shots. Flau'jae Johnson, man, I don't know what's going on with her, but she can't shoot. 3 for 14. She's shooting like under 30% right now. She's shooting 25.5% from the floor. From the floor. Like that's pathetic. Natisha Heidemann had 19. They played without Dominique Malonga, who was in concussion protocol. Like you knew they were going to win this game. Like, there was no worry about winning this game. It was about how you looked doing it. And they looked how they looked. Raven Johnson finally got some minutes again after being benched back-to-back games. She had played 17 minutes, but really no production on offense. And when you have it on the same day as a day that Medina Oka completely balled out for the Atlanta Dream, it just smacks you right in the face it just smacks you in the face, and you're sitting here saying, why? Why didn't you draft this girl who could have been your backup starting center? That's what you're saying, right? This is what you're doing for Stephanie White on that decision and Amber Cox and all them people. And that's not about Raven Johnson at this point. Raven Johnson, there's no consistency with the lineup right now. There's no rotation that makes sense. Raven Johnson, when she's out there with freaking Caitlin Clark, is playing the 2. But when she's out there with Kelsey Mitchell, she's playing the 2. And when I'm playing the 1, when she's out there with Kelsey Mitchell's playing the 2. The 1. I'm sorry, when she's out there with Kelsey Mitchell's playing the 1. But when she's out there with Caitlin Clark, she's playing the 1. When realistically, she should be playing the 1 in both situations. She should not be playing off the ball. She should be playing the point guard position when she's in the game with either one of them. Because she's not a scoring threat. 0 points, 1 shot in 17 minutes. You got to be more of a threat. And she had 3 turnovers in 17 minutes and 1 assist. But again, you got to put her in there with people and let her be a point guard. You know what I mean? And people who say, she's not ready, that's nonsense. She's perfectly ready. She's ready to be a point guard. She's not ready to be a scorer because she's not one, but she's ready to be a point guard. So, they won the game. I expected them to. By the way, crowd 14,000 plus. This was the lowest home crowd for Caitlin Clark since she got to Indiana. The Caitlin Clark fan base is speaking with their pockets now, man. So there were 14,000 paid seats. Guess what? There were like 12,000 people there because there were probably tons of empty seats. Besides the 3,000 plus unsold tickets, there were probably another 2,000 empty seats. There were a lot of empty chairs there. The place was quiet, wasn't very loud. But this is what happens when you have made a calculated decision to knock down your best player when the fan base in the building is there to see your best player. They're not there to see anybody else but your best player. And it's really crazy that they continue to do this. But now they're like searching to fix it. That's what they're doing. They're searching to fix it. They're trying their damnedest to bring people back into the lore and put in videos of Caitlin Clark and featuring her more on these Instagram posts, on these YouTube shorts, and all that stuff. Interesting, huh? It's very convenient, to say the least. It's very convenient to say the least. But hey, y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, hype the video. I appreciate y'all as always. This is Indiana Fever Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.